Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Leadership Speaks series of L Forum. Today, I have a very unique guest whose career, like mine, started on the tea plantations of India. And he moved on, of course, to more glamorous careers like being a Bollywood actor, and then went on to direct Bollywood films. And today, he is also an entrepreneur. I'm happy and proud to welcome my dear friend Kabir Sadanand to the show. Welcome to the show, Kabir.
Thank you very much, Ringo, for first of all connecting. It's been years since we met. Uh, we both, like you said, started our careers together on the plantations, and I think it was the founding years to who we have become today. What we've learned and uh, loyalty, friendship, and planters never leave each other's side. So yeah, I think those are the values that we picked up over there. So yeah, it's
Cheers to that.
great to be cheers to that, and it's great to be speaking to you. And look at me, I'm talking about leadership over here. We were the small kids running around
So
the field there.
I know. And in fact, yeah, I think we learned a lot of leadership there, literally on the job and on the field. So, my first question to you is I would like to hear from you your exciting journey from those tea plantations to where you are right now as an entrepreneur, making films, working in the world of media. Would love to hear your story.
Okay. Now, so first facts first. Uh, I love being a planter, and I really enjoyed what we did, uh, whether it was tea or whether it was coffee or it was pepper or it was uh, cardamom. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole process of it. I enjoyed uh, the intensity of it. I enjoy the fact that it's ruled by people management more than anything else uh, to get a good estate going. Yeah, but I will come to that later. Is what can go wrong when you have mismanaged leadership thoughts in your head, and why I left planting. Uh, but the journey was not so easy as everyone thinks. So the switch, first of all, was a big switch in my head that I had to take, was that I wanted to uh, go where my heart was. I was an actor on stage in school and did a lot of stage plays. I did about, I think, 400 stage plays before.
Wow, 400. Wow.
And so in my heart somewhere, I wanted to get back on stage. And because my father was a very strict military man. And so when I did suggest to him one day, I said that, probably I think I like being an actor. And he says that, how about getting a good job? So I said, that is the job. So I said, no, it's seriously a good job. It's a job. He said, okay. If you think it's a job, it's a job. But, I would get myself a job. Anyway, so I landed up in Bombay, and the city of dreams, as they call it, and uh, with very limited amount of money, whatever I had left with me, I didn't want. And so I started my career there, and I realized it was not going to be very easy. And so I took odd jobs, became I was lifting lights, uh, helping on sets, uh, hardly making even say $1 a day, but I kept at it. And I think that's where I learned the basics about filmmaking, when I and about how actors react and how actors are treated and how directors give instructions, how the writers are involved, how the lighting is done. And I was very happy. I used to work like a labor from say shooting times used to be from say 9 in the evening to say 9 at night, but being on the lighting, I was there much earlier and I left much later. But I was smiling at the end of it, and uh, obviously the end target was with lines and stuff. And it happened one day, and so this guy comes up to me and he says that, have you ever acted before? And I said, yeah. little bit of work. And he says, okay, let me see you do the scene. I did it. And he says that, okay, do you have a jacket? I said, excuse me? He says, do you have a jacket? I said, yeah, I do have a jacket. He said, get a jacket and tie and come tomorrow to set. I said, okay. And there I was next day. And after that, for I think 17 years, I worked for almost about 15 hours a day, 15 to 16 hours a day.
Wow.
And at
Wow.
one point in time, I was doing two shifts, working in the morning in one shift and working in the evening with another shift with another production. And I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it until one day I realized that I had stopped enjoying it and I was doing it only to make money.
Hmm.
And it worried me. It's very strange because both the days that changed my life happened in the film industry happened at the same point. I was sitting by the sea first day when I got my job,
Hmm.
and I got to act over there. And the day I decided that I don't think I'm enjoying it anymore, I was sitting exactly at the same point. I was shooting 9 days and 9 nights at a stretch,
Hmm.
sleeping for 1 hour or 2 hours in between. Uh, and I was sitting in the same spot. I lit up a cigarette and I looked at the sea and I said, "Are you enjoying this anymore?" And instantly my body told me, my mind said, "No, you're not." So I wrote into all the productions and mailed them and said that I, I am giving you my notice. I'm not going to be doing this anymore. And please figure out how you would want me to sing. And everyone came back and said, "Why are you doing this?" I said, you are at what you're doing well, and I said, "No, because now when I come to the sets, I'm not going to be enjoying it, and I don't want to destroy what you're dreaming up and what you're creating."
So,
And I said, I would not be living up to your dreams, and I'll be killing them. And I said, I don't have any right to do that. So then I started writing. I spent all my money because I wasn't earning any, and I made my first film, which was uh, very strange now that 15 years later, someone comes and says, "Oh, that was like a cult film," and everyone trashed it then.
oh
And
yes, I remember that. The thing about the popcorn, right?
yeah, yeah.
I
So
used to love one of the songs. I used to love a lot about it. Very
yeah,
catchy
so
number.
yeah, so the other day, one young kid, obviously, he has written a review and he says that that film has got, and if like I sat, I said, finally someone understood my humor. So that film didn't do very well, and uh, was not very it's not a very good feeling because you put in so much of effort into making something, but then you make something which is not accepted. Eventually, we are making things for the audiences to like, and if they're not going to like it, it's just not going to work. Uh, then the second film, which I made, Tummil of the Say, with some really really senior actors, and it worked. I suddenly had people writing about the film and international press. I think LA Times gave us a great review on it, and uh, Iran, which is known for its soulful films, we had a print order from there to send prints from here for the film. So yeah, that did well. Then went on to make another film called Fugly, and which again uh, got some of the critics, some of the guys just don't like my face. So they bashed the film. While, while the others, they were more gentle on us and some of them were very kind. And yeah, so that happened. Then we had another film that we made, which is called Golu and Papu, which is for children. It was a comedy. It's like Dumb and Dumber or Laurel and Hardy. And unfortunately, that film didn't get a very big release. There was change in management and things. But yeah, now I see it on Netflix. I'm happy about that. Then, yeah, so then we started our own company. And and I said, okay, we can do this on our own. We can start creating content. We can uh, And there are a lot of people who said that, we want to work with you.
So
So,
I have to ask you, why
yeah,
Frogs Unlimited?
okay.
So you have to tell me that.
So if you see, there's actually it's actually FROG. That's frog. So it's full to means completely rely on God.
Man, hats off.
And
I've never thought
and
about that.
it's not that it's not any religious connotation to it or anything. It's just that rely on someone. There's someone there. Rely on him. You
Yeah,
keep working hard, and
awesome.
it'll happen. So that's why Frog Unlimited. Unlimited because uh, again there was a problem with that because I tried to register Unlimited as a limited company, and they said, "How can you be unlimited and a limited company?" So there's so,
That's what it is.
so I'll go with it. I'll just stay with the name.
It's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, sorry. You're telling me something about your firm. Yeah, your
Yeah.
entrepreneurial journey.
So then we started this company, uh, uh, making our first ad film. Uh, Fugly and Golu Bapu was our first feature we produced in house. Then happened Fugly, and then we started doing a lot of commercials, and we were making a commercial for Harman, and then we shot with A.R. Rahman, and we shot across 4 continents, and that was the second one. So we started commercials and making commercials, and then we started making films, and we started doing television, and then we started our writers' room because we realized all of us got along with each other. Um, it's easier to fight with a known devil than an unknown devil. So half of us have put each other's hair out already. So it was safe that we wouldn't be killing each other inside that room. So yeah, so we started writing together, and that's how Frog happened. And it's been, I think now it's on our 14th year of
Wow.
being in the business, and we are happy. We might not be as big or as successful, but I think we are successful with the fact that we are happy with each other, and
That's
we
big.
keep, yeah.
That's a
So we
big,
keep,
big indicator.
so we like to do things together. We're not, none of us have decided that I've got a greener pasture to go to, so I'm going to leave someone behind. So we've just stuck together. I'm back to acting again. I'm doing a show on Netflix, and
Oh, so when can we expect to see that, Kabir?
I think in March is when no, not March. Sorry, I'm lying. This just finished shooting, so I think it should come up by early winter this year.
Okay, so it's a series, I'm hoping, right?
It's
Not
a
a movie.
series, yeah,
So
yeah,
I
it's a
can binge
series.
watch. Okay, good.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I'm a binge watch guy. So awesome. I mean, you can't imagine how proud I am of you. So just so that you know, I watched all your movies, and I would say, this guy's a planter. I would freeze the screen and say, this guy used to be on a TST just like me, running around in shorts. He's been a planter like me. I look at him and look at me now.
Thank you so
So
much. You're very
no,
kind.
absolutely. It's a matter of pride. Like you said, we planters stick together, and all we need is a good drink and a good laugh, and that's it. And live for the moment, right? Who knows what's going to
Never
happen
miss the
tomorrow?
malt. Never miss the malt.
Never miss the mark. Yeah, absolutely. So, Kabir, my next question to you is a little more serious, I would say. No, or more introspective. I want you to tell me what has been your experience as a leader. Actor, then you became a director, so you were like the whole conductor of the whole thing, and now you're an entrepreneur running your own organization. What has been your learning or definition of leadership in an industry like the media industry and the film industry? It must be very different from the worlds others live in.
So see, yeah, it is different. Uh, it's differently managed. It's this in our business. You need to have a lot of heart and that's very, very important in our business to have a lot of heart. And the other thing is that, because we are so time bound, and every second that's wasted is someone's money is going down the drain. So you need to be very particular about those things. I'll go back a little bit to when I say that I learned a lot from when I was a planter. You're young and you're eager to please, you're eager to lead. Uh, and I think I was in my fourth year in planting and I got an estate to be a manager.
Wow.
And yeah, so I was, you're one of those guys who feel that, okay, I've arrived and I have my
I'm
own
one of those
estate.
bright sparks, as we used to call them, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's where I was wrong, is because the reason I left planting was because there was a difficult estate in Africa which had opened up to manage, and they didn't send me, and I got very upset about it. And I realized now, and that taught me why did they not send me, and that became the basic idea between what I would do as a leader with my people and teach them or learn from that was the fact is that uh, too young, too eager, and not ready are things that we all must realize. I was too eager means I was not stable. And when you're in another country and you're dealing with different people, the values are different, thinking is different. You needed to be a little more mature. You might be very good at man management or whatever, but no, if you're not mature enough, you might make mistakes. Mistakes can be expensive. Mistakes can be hurtful. Mistakes can be uh, devastating to someone else. And but I left. I left planting and saying with a huff that uh, God, how did they not send me? I'm so good. No, you weren't good. You're an idiot. So I learned it the hard way. Some names I worked with and who like Bharat was there, Babu was there, Wahid was there, and these are guys who I think laid the foundation to how I approach people. All of them had different ideologies, had different ways of doing dealing with uh, planting workers, factory, and their juniors and assistants and seniors. So you used to pick up stuff from them, what you should be doing, what you should be doing. I think that became the thing. And so now coming to the film industry, so that's why I say is that as a youngster, it's important to you will feel you're ready. You have it. You want to go for it, and you want. I still feel keep knocking, keep knocking, keep knocking, and I'm sure Messi didn't get his kick the first time right. He keeps doing it. He keeps doing it, and now he masters it. And when you start mastering something, when you do it more than, say, about 1,000 times, 2,000 times, 10,000 times, you suddenly it becomes second skin, and that's when uh, you're going to be ready. So, yeah, some people might turn around and say that, uh, isn't that too much? If you want to be successful, it's not an easy job. It's hard work, and you need to make that effort. You need to be that person who can make that change. So yeah, so that's my learning from there. I came into an industry again, which is very, very people invested. We work uh, on budgets which are there, and every minute that we don't shoot, it's time wasted. And every shot, which is a good shot, is not only dependent on the director. It's got the actors, it's the lighting guys, it's the set guys, it's the camera guys, it's the sound guys, it's the guy who's putting in the fog, him. It's the guy who's getting the coffee in, him. It's a big contribution that comes in from everybody that makes one single shot. And the 70 factors that
Wow.
go into saying, okay, that shot's fine, that shot's bad, let's retake. Uh, so at times uh, which again I've learned over a period of time. So uh, I used to lose my top very often, and people who were working with me, they worked more with fear that, oh God, if you don't get it right, he's going to get angry. And over the years, I realized is that fear should be changed to respect, because when they start respecting your ideology and your thinking, then they will start contributing more. In fear, they're just doing what they're supposed to do. But in respect, I'm not saying respect as in you say, good morning, sir, and good afternoon. No, I'm talking respect is you respect what I do. You respect my thought process. You respect who I am. And in turn, and that can only happen when I start respecting who you are. I respect what you do for me. I respect what you contribute towards the film. I respect what you contribute to everybody around you. So that became that was a change, and that helped me. Now the process of making films over the years is more of a, we're enjoying the whole process of it, getting together, reading. Yeah, there are moments when I lose my top suddenly, and uh, you have the perfect shot going in, and suddenly you have something that goes wrong, and you go, oh God, those kind of things. There are times when you're really running against time. I know for a fact uh, we were shooting one of these structures, historical structures. I knew exactly I had 4 hours to shoot it before the sun peeped out from the clouds behind. And it started raining. So now what are you going to do? And I don't have that place again to shoot in. So how are you going to get past that? So at that point in time, obviously everything gets very intense. And yeah, well, we pulled it off and it happened. But otherwise, I feel because you're dealing with so many people who on set who are they're creatively inclined. So everyone is thinking of things. The cameraman is thinking about how he's going to color that shot. The actors are thinking how they're going to make the lines better. Or things. Everyone's creatively. So everyone is driven from with another passion. So you need, and I realized over a period of time, is that you need to step back a little bit uh, and start listening. Because when you start listening, you're going to start helping yourself. Uh, because you're going to start contributing more to what you're making. And then you start listening to what the other guys have in mind. So it's more of a people's thing. And yeah, on the other hand, when you talk about being an entrepreneur and you're running a business is about making money. And that's very important. Uh, it's not the most important thing for me, but it is important. Uh, like I said, I left acting when I was making a lot of money but I wasn't happy. So now I want to make a lot of money. It makes me very happy. And the thing is, so I have to be also careful with the finance guys to. So you get into the management side of it. So I don't know if you remember, I went and did my biodynamics and my organic agriculture when I was in planting, and I actually started teaching biodynamic agriculture in London, and so that also is just coming back. So management, and then I joined the agricultural plantation agricultural management institute in. So you management skills came over there.
Wow, amazing.
So
Okay.
I started picked up things from everywhere, and so when I'm with the finance guys, it's important to understand because they only understand numbers. They understand nothing else. So I tell them that I really need this kind of a location, and he told me, "You're not getting it. Why? We can't afford it. But I really need it. That's what I'm thinking. It's to change your thinking." So I said, "I'm not going to change
Simple.
my thinking. I'm
Simple.
the boss.
Simply.
I'm the boss. I'm not going to change how I think. No, you're not going to get it." So you'll throw a little tantrum and stuff. But then you also have to realize at the end of the day, if something is not made in the budget, uh, it's not going to be successful because success comes with how much you put in and what comes back to the guy who's investing the money into it. And I can be really creatively satisfied. Oh my God, I made a masterpiece. But if that masterpiece is not going to help business, then it's just art. So you do art at your own risk. You don't do art at someone else's risk. So that's something I'm very clear about. So as a entrepreneur, I want the company to be in the green. I want the company to have values of loyalty, values of delivering products, which is going to be the consumer is going to be happy. Uh, Whoever's coming, if it's making commercial, the product managers should be happy. It should be made in the correct budget, so that everyone who goes away should say, okay, these are good guys to work with. I'm not saying that you go and try to be nice and be absolutely dodgy with your work and you give absolute trash to them and expect them to lap it up. No, you leave a feeling with them that these are the guys I can't work without. So yeah, it's a struggle at times when I have to convince the finance guys, but it becomes important for me, and that's when my management thing that so I turn around and I say, okay, you know, if I actually shoot away and this looks better, maybe the next film will get a bigger budget on it. And that
Amazing.
guys, you can see the dollars running in there, chan 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 chan, and it's done. Let's get a few. And then they'll work around how they'll say, okay, I've got you the location, I've got it only for 8 hours. Will you be able to pull it off? And we know we need 10. So we say, yeah, 8 hours. We're going to get it done in 8 hours. But the whole team then works. So I think it's more about inspiring while you move ahead. Uh, uh, I don't believe that you need to be harsh with your team. They're the ones who are going to stand by you. They're the ones who are going to ditch you. You know, thing. And I'm a biker. You never leave a man behind. Whoever it is,
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
don't leave a man behind. So
perfect. So what a diverse lifestyle you have. You know, you're making movies, you're running your own company, you act now, you're also a biker, you love your agriculture. So I'm sure you have a nice garden somewhere. And I mean, I'm hoping to see you next time when I'm there in the country. So much to catch up.
look
So
forward to that.
definitely, Kabir. And you did kind of touch upon some of the challenges you faced. Uh, if I were to ask you, what are the in the career of so many years in this world and even in the media world and then in planting, what are the top challenges that come to your mind that you faced, which kind of were defining moments and how it defined who you are as a leader today?
I do remember them. I actually do remember every single one of them. So I'll start with recently, uh, COVID whacked all of us, and
Totally.
obviously production stopped. So uh, we had not shot from February 2019 till October 2021. We hadn't shot. We hadn't worked as a team. We were talking to each other every day. We were being with each other every day, but we hadn't shot. Or resources had come to a complete standstill. Uh, People had homes to run. People had medical bills to be paid, and you don't give up at that point in time. You don't give up on your people. You don't give up on your team. And we used to sit and discuss new projects and discuss what we would like to make and discuss it. And I think at that point in time, I could see somewhere on their faces, they were not saying it, but they were losing faith. And I realized one thing. It's not that I was not weakening at moments and, gosh, what's going to happen? Do we need to think of what are we going to do? Reserves are running dry. But I realized one thing. I said at that point of time, if I had let the emotions show on me, it would have demoralized a lot of the others on the team. And I believe in manifesting good things. And so I kept a strong face. And obviously, when we started working again and the team started, Touchwood started, we've got back, we've got little respites with the waves that are happening. Nasty piece of virus that is. But yeah, but when it was all over, so I was sitting with these guys in the evening. I said, we finished work, our first day of shooting. I said, come on, let's have a drink, all of us together.
Of course.
And I said, fuck. This was nasty 1.5 years that we've gone. So I was weak every day. And they looked at me and said, I said, today I can say we started working. So yeah, that for me, in the recent times, that was one day. I still remember I was sitting on the set and in the office. I'd gotten early and there was no one else over there. And I was looking at all the tables over there. I was looking at the board, which was empty. I was looking at the pin-up board, where we put our post-its with the script details. It was empty. And the office boy who's there, who does the delivery of mail and stuff, I saw him sitting in a corner there. He was on his phone that night. And I said, Rahul, and so he came to me and he had tears. So I said, what happened? He just said one thing. He says, when is this going to get over? When are we going to start work again? And that moment, that boy taught me one thing, is that if you give faith and hope to someone, and if you are understanding what he's going through, you're going to be able to lead him better. So I swung my arm around him and I said, I'm going to make you some coffee today. And I said that I lit up a cigarette and stood with him there. And I said, you know something? If life is going to be like a bed of roses, what are you going to tell your grandchildren? I just walked through and I became this and I did that. And he was cheerful after that. He said, his wife is expecting. He says, actually, yeah, I can tell them my boss was broke. I said, yeah, you can tell them that. And so that's the day I called up everyone and I said that, I know we're going to be doing all our meetings online and stuff. And I said that, let's not lose the faith. Let's just be there. We should have a drink, even if it's online once a week, and make fools of ourselves. But let's not stop living.
Beautiful.
So as an actor, I'll just go back now. As an actor, what one when you say leadership and how important it is. So I was supposed to go to film a film in South Africa where I was acting, and I had to leave that night. And one of these shows that I was doing, they were running behind time on production, and if I hadn't shot with them, they would have got into a spot with the studio or the platform that they were going to be releasing the content on. If I didn't get on that flight over there, that man's going to be losing a lot of money because he's got the whole set over there, the whole unit over there. And I had 16 pages of dialogues to be done. And it was only me speaking. It was a courtroom sequence. And it was impossible. I knew it's not going to happen. But it had to happen. We had to do it. So I went up to the director. He was a younger guy. And I said that I have a suggestion. So I said, can you call for 3 more cameras? So he said, why would I call for 3 more cameras? I said, trust me on this. So he said, okay. I went to every single actor who was working that day on the set. And I did my lines with them. So that everyone got their cues or interjections or whatever right on the thing. And I went to the cameraman and I said that, I requested everyone, see, I'm in a spot. We need to finish this. I know it. And so we placed the cameras over there. And rehearsed once with everybody. So I went, there were some 16 actors over there. So I went all to all of them individually, requesting them, then went to, did the lines with everyone. And then we shot. So we did one rehearsal and I requested the director, I said, please record it. I said, so that we all know where we're going wrong. It'll take, what, to watch it, it will take some 25 minutes, but let's just, as you're rolling it after we finish, let's watch it. And then, we can inserts and cuts and things. Uh, did one rehearsal, I hated it because I was terrible. I was so nervous because I was more worried about everyone getting their cues right. And the second take, and so we finished that day, the shoot, in about 6 hours. So I realized that day,
And you made the
uh,
flight.
and I made the flight. So learnings from that day were, if you're committed enough to dream big, and if you're ready to work hard enough to make that dream come true, you can do it, but you can't do it alone. You're going to do it with a team. You're going to do it with people. So if you can't motivate them or you can't excite them, it's not going to really be helpful. So yeah, so that was my learning with that, and that really holds very dear to me. Going back to planting, now these are moments in my life which made me feel that okay, I've learned something. There have been smaller moments, when you're on set, you have some very difficult actors to work with, and you realize that very big egos uh, and stuff. So you learn how to deal with it. It's
So I'm going to ask you a very naive question. This is my learning in my own little knowledge. When people with big egos, do you feel because of a large insecurity or a fear that they carry? People with very less ego are very secure people. They really don't. Is that
you
this
know,
is my learning,
yeah.
and I may be completely wrong.
So the way of looking at it is, then you have bullies. Okay, uh, strong egos. See, ego is not a bad thing. Ego, if you have an ego to succeed, that's not a bad thing. If you have an ego which is going to be bad for people in relationships around you, that's sad. That's bad. When I say egoistic people, if I'm going to be a narcissist and think of only myself as to be the be all and end all, okay, those are kind of people I would, because they're going to bring in negativity. Yes, you're right. People who are, I've seen some of the most successful people. I give the biggest example is Ratan Tata. Had the great fortune of meeting him, and you realize how small you are when you see the large heart that the man has. So to be successful and to be a good leader, and Tata did not uh, have any pay cuts, did not in the lockdown, they didn't. No one lost their jobs. Uh, it reflects on the manager or the leader who's leading that thought process, that company. And on the other hand, you have a smaller businessman who's got this huge air about himself. And so, yes, a successful person who's successful not only in business and the bank balance that he has, successful in being able to live his dream and his passion, his ego drops because he starts absorbing what people have to say, and he's going to use it. He's going to be smart enough to use it to his advantage. Uh, so yeah, ego. I think it's about being a bully. It's about being uh, over ambitious, over confident. Uh, because when you fall that way, you fall very hard.
Absolutely, I totally agree. In fact, I have, at least in my journey, I've seen people who carry very large egos or very fragile egos, which you cannot touch or you cannot, it's like out
Yeah.
of bounds. Uh, are typically nursing a fear, or they are nursing a big insecurity.
Yeah.
And it could be very stupid things like their hairline, or their height, or their complexion, or their educational qualification. It is, and it's a wound that they carry basically. And actually, you see the even animals. You and I have lived. You've seen enough animals out
Yeah.
there that the ones which do maximum attacks are the ones who are the most scared. Actually,
Yeah.
the elephant has no time for you. In fact, uh, in the BBTC cardamom thing, I have broken my tail light. I was coming from Sandy's place,
I know. I
and this
know.
is between Pavani Made and this thing. The damn jumbo came in the middle of my road. So
Yeah.
somebody's asking me. I said, they don't care a rat's backside for you.
No.
You're such an inconsequential piece of shit. They don't care for you. You are scared of that guy. He's
Yeah.
not. He's why are you coming in the way? So you're right.
Yeah.
So I was very curious because you mentioned this ego thing. Because in your world, I think those are all very important aspects that you worry about because it's
So,
it's it's very people centric, as you rightly said.
so you have a lot of egos here. You have a lot of egos here with uh, it's anywhere, any whether it's in India
But
filmmaking
this
or
is
filmmaking.
individual skill, right? Your
Yeah,
world is about individual skill.
yeah,
It's like sports at some level.
yeah, yeah. It
The
is.
superstar shows up. That's the the guy has to carry the water for him. That kind of a
Yeah.
thing, right? Carry the
So
kit
yeah,
bag for the dude. So that kind of a thing,
yeah.
right?
So yeah, it is. It's but I've seen some of the guys who, it's very strange now that I'm thinking of it. Some of the finest actors I've met have been egoistic bastards.
Interesting.
And now when I'm thinking of it, I think, and in our line more so, because there are, it's a gift. You're gifted in this industry. I can't teach you how to act. I can't teach you how to tell a story. I can teach you how to, what is the how you can tell a story, but I can't actually tell the story for you. You got to do that eventually. It's an art. It's not just making a phone. It's not just making a painting. Sorry, it's like making painting. I can tell you what colors would look good, but finally it's the brush that you use. And I think sometimes with some of them is that when they feel that another person is not as passionate, is not as equipped, or is not thinking uh, what is beyond. Yeah, actually, you just made me think about this, and maybe it's because they know their business in our field, or they know it and they're thinking ahead of time. They want you to catch up.
And that if you draw a parallel in the corporate world, let's say you have a high performing, super intelligent CEO or a leader, and you will typically see them scream and shout at the office peon or the little admin assistant who's making mistakes with the letter she's typing. I think you and I have seen it as well. You
Yeah,
know, as I have evolved, I've realized that if that person was so smart, he or she would have my job.
exactly.
My job is not to tell them how stupid or dumb they are. My job is to help them raise their standards and do their jobs more effectively. And that has been my learning. And I've realized when you are younger, you said, what? This guy is running at 10 miles an hour and I'm running at 100 miles an hour. How's it going to work? So you're right. So you wonder, but I guess wisdom is over the period that you are here because you are able to run at 100 miles an hour. You
Yeah.
get the money that you get because you run at 100 miles an hour.
Come on.
And the expectation you'll carry the rest of the team with you. Eventually, you win the race.
So I saw egos in a way. If you have a good ego, it's a good thing. Like I said, if you have an ego to succeed, if you have an ego to make something the best, that's a good ego. But if I'm making it have its negative effect on people around me and hindering work, then it's dangerous.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's you're right. Many organizations have taken a tumble because the firm couldn't handle the ego of the leader, basically.
yeah,
So my last question for our little chat today, Kabir, is what is your advice based on all your learnings and all the wisdom you've picked up for for youngsters, for young managers, young movie makers or actors? What's your advice?
My biggest advice would be patience. My advice would be commitment. Uh, my advice would be uh, learning. You never stop learning. However long you've been in the business, you don't know it all. Read a lot. Uh, Listen. I think that's something which is very important to start listening to people around you. Be respectful because when you give respect, you're going to get a lot of respect. Don't be an ass slicker because it's just going to get you that far. And uh, so when I talk about patience, I say is that, like I learned from my life, you have to be ready for something. So you have to be patient. You have to be patient that this is what I want to, this is where I want to get. And to get there, in this patient wait of mine, I'm going to keep learning. So patience, learning comes with that. Educating myself. Uh, while I'm learning of how it's done perfectly, I'm educating myself to know how I can do it even better. During this learning to do it better, I will be a little more confident to be with the people around me so that I give them hope, I give them the feeling that together we can make this better. And the most important thing, in my opinion, is be respectful because it's people that carry you, it's people that carry you forward. If you can't respect people, uh, color, creed, race makes no difference. So we all uh, have a heart in here, and that heart connects us to each other. So you have a song that's made in Africa, or it's made in Bengali, or it's made in Tamil, it's made in, or Korean. It becomes a hit all over the world because they connect from the heart. So any amount of money that you're going to make, any amount of success you're going to have, if you can't share it with anyone, you can't share it with the people who've got you there, you're not a leader. You're just a tombstone.
Beautiful, Kabir. And thank you so much. Straight from the heart, straight from Kabir's heart. Loved your thoughts. Thank you so much. And I'm hoping that you will participate more actively in my L forum. This is a little unique thing. It's the Entrepreneurial Leadership Forum. I have pretty, let's say, unique group of people I've brought onto the conversation, and your flavor and your thoughts are going to be thoroughly enjoyed by the audience. So thank you so much, and
Thank you. I
wish you
hope you
all
like it.
success. And wish you all success. Who knows? Win an Oscar someday for us.
And this is the longest spell of time and not use any foul language. So my team's going to be very happy with me.
Ask. Make sure they see this then.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and
Thank
it's
you.
been a pleasure, Ringo. And stay happy. Cheers and
Thank you
safe.
so much.